The stock market soared yesterday after President Trump paused big parts of his tariff plan.
He wrote on Truth Social that he was implementing a 90-day pause and a lower 10% tariff for countries that have not retaliated. However, he's raising the tariffs on China to 125%. The announcement comes after a week of market chaos, prompting some economists to warn of a recession. The president seemed to acknowledge the markets and economic behavior played a role in his decision.
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know? They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid.
Treasury Secretary says about 75 countries have reached out to negotiate, and the administration says it is willing to do so. President told reporters Wednesday he remains confident that a deal will be made with every country, including China. Democrats, however, are still critical of the plan and how much the tariffs will end up costing Americans. U.S. stock markets gaining back much of what they lost in the past week yesterday. Dow was up almost 8%, NASDAQ gaining more than 12%, S&P 500 gaining 9.5%, third best day since 1940. Stock futures pointing to a lower opening this morning on Wall Street. Well, a social media post by the president sparking some questions about possible insider trading. So early yesterday morning, the president posted a message on Truth Social that read, quote, "This is a great time to buy," and includes the initials DJT. About 4 hours later, the president announced his 90-day tariff pause, sending stocks soaring. DJT, obviously the president's initials. They're also the stock symbol for the parent company of Truth Social, social media company owned by the president. Stock jumped 23%. At least one Democratic senator is calling for an investigation into whether this was market manipulation. Chinese officials now warning citizens to reconsider any travel to the U.S.
According to the statement from the nation's Ministry of Culture and Tourism, the warning is in direct response to the deteriorating economic relations between the two countries. It comes after the U.S. and China went toe-to-toe yesterday, ending with President Trump issuing a 125% tax on all Chinese imports, and Beijing issuing an 84% tax on U.S. goods. The warning also advises any study abroad students to consider the safety risks of being in the U.S. FBI Director Kash Patel has been removed as the acting chief of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Patel is being replaced by Army Secretary Daniel Driscoll. It's not clear exactly when the decision was made, but Patel had been running both the FBI and ATF, and the responsibilities of running both agencies became too time-consuming. Driscoll will remain the Army Secretary until he takes on the job of acting director of the ATF. It's an unusual move, as U.S. defense officials have historically tried to maintain a strict divide between the military and law enforcement activities. House Republicans will try again today to vote on a budget bill.
They held off on a vote after pushback from some conservatives over the bill passed by the Senate. It is central to President Trump's plan for his domestic agenda, and Fox's Kevin Cork reports.
The Senate sent over a joke.
Fierce debate over President Trump's big, beautiful bill on Capitol Hill. House Republicans divided on whether or not they should pass the Senate's budget framework, which would advance the president's domestic agenda.
The American people are going to end up on the short end of the stick because it absolutely increases deficits.
House Democrats rallied against it.
We reject it because we're going to stand on the side of the American people.
While the bill was full of tax cuts, border security funding, and a debt ceiling increase, some hardline Republicans believed it simply didn't do enough to address spending cuts. Many oppose the Senate's proposed minimum of $4 billion in cuts, preferring the House's original $1.5 trillion.
The $4 billion floor in spending savings in that Senate bill just simply are not acceptable.
Ahead of what would have been a vote, several members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus met privately with Senate Majority Leader John Thune, but that did little to help ease concerns.
Passover is Saturday. I don't have any intention to have us here working this weekend, but if we have to come back next week, then we'll do that.
Debate over the vote came just one day after President Trump called for holdouts to fall in line at a fundraising event.
Close your eyes and get there. It's a phenomenal bill. Stop grandstanding. Just stop grandstanding.
While this vote is critical, it's also just one step in a months-long process that will require both chambers of Congress to resolve their differences ahead of a final bill later on this spring or perhaps in the summer. In Washington, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.